I'm really excited to share with you the importance about bringing in outside consultants dealing with the integration of AI into education. So today I'm going to be sharing with you an interview that I had with Jeff Ritter, who's the co-founder of AI Education Consultant Collective. Now, this is really important because this ties in with a book that I published before dealing with the 9-point action plan for generative AI integration. Now, the thing is that all of education needs to integrate AI in some way, right? They need to think about it on many different levels. So the idea here is that this is an important action plan of bringing in some outside help, either an outside presentation or even further, bringing in some outside consultants to do even more. So this is a great opportunity to hear from Jeff Ritter, who's a consultant. He's got his own agency here, to hear about some different thoughts and ideas as far as what goes on with these types of consultations and these types of help that will ensure that the educational institution itself can develop properly so that the integration can really happen so that we can elevate the educational experience both for the instructors as well as for the students. And that's what's really key here is that we have to think about what needs to happen in order to address this issue because AI is here and it's going to continue to develop. So this is an important action plan. This is an important component. So please enjoy this special interview that I had with Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. I'm very happy to have you here on our little show here, if you will. Um, this is a very important aspect. This is a very important idea here because you are a consultant dealing with AI, and I'm very interested in your thoughts and opinions about a lot of different aspects here because I view this as an imperative that all universities, all educational institutions really need to improve. They really need to develop the way that AI is being integrated. So I'm going to ask you just a few different questions, and I'd love to get your ideas, your thoughts, and your responses.
Okay, thanks, Brent.
Okay.
Thanks for being
Yeah,
here.
great. So the first question is, can you start by telling us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with AI in the field of education in the first place?
Well, I've been teaching in a small college in Pittsburgh, LaRoche College, now LaRoche University, about 23 years. And I was in communication, media, and technology, great field. Started out as radio, TV, and film, long time ago. And as that evolved, digital technology, the internet, digital video, I got to evolve myself and learned all about those things as they were coming out, as I had to, because that's what students need to learn about. They don't need to learn about the FCC and radio stations in the old days. And constantly evolving and learning new things. And that's me. That's what I'm all about. That's my favorite thing. It's new things. I'm a innovation, novelty is what I really thrive upon. So it was a great period of time for that. And as things develop, online learning, PowerPoint going to the web and discussion boards and all those things. I really was an early adopter for all those things. Love to use those things for education. So I did decide to retire in 2020. Wasn't the greatest semester in the world. Spring 2020 was kind of a drag, and I was ready to do something new anyway. And I really want to do something with education and technology. I knew I had all this information, the way things people use things, what's coming up, what's new, and I knew this is really where I want to be. Try something different. I can't do the same thing for 23 years, and without doing something new after that. So, uh, looking around at that time, there wasn't that much new coming out. 2020, 2020, 21. A few new things here and there. AI was on the horizon, a blip here and there, talking about it, but nothing major was changing in the way we do everyday life or everyday use of the internet or business. But
Right.
when ChatGPT came out, as with everybody else, it was just an earthquake, and it reverberated throughout education, and it was obvious pretty quickly to me and lots of other people that education and business and the world of learning, the world of work, are going to be changed dramatically by this. It's just that capability so quickly, so early, that nobody even imagined were going to be possible so soon. So I just jumped on that and said, this is going to be a big change for education. It's going to be slow. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be painful. But that's what I want to do. And so that's why I decided to start first, of course, you like everybody else, spend a year playing with ChatGPT and learn how it works, learn what prompts are, how you change them, how you can adjust them, what the limitations are, what hallucinations are, all those things. And then as they got better and better, we learned that, well, let's start figuring out how to adopt this in education, because if the world of work is changing so dramatically, business is changing so dramatically, arts, humanities, everything, then education obviously has to also. You can't just keep doing the same thing. So that's why I decided. That's how I decided to start a group of people, like-minded people, talented, interested, curious, well-educated in education, well-versed in technology, to all do the same thing. Let's help schools at all levels try to adapt to AI.
Great, great. Okay. And so, can you tell me what are some of the most exciting things? You talked about novelty, so I'm interested in some of the most exciting things that you've seen as far as AI being integrated into education.
Well, we're just starting. This is a very young company, like a couple of months old. And all the people that I found, and all the people I talk to all the time, and the people who are my partners, we all agree we've got to find some unique ways to to bring teachers, administrators, professors, department chairs, bring them along into this world and say, the way you've done things, okay, that was fine for the world you're in. We're not going to go back and criticize you and change you in the past. We can't do that, but we have to start adapting towards this, not the future, it's now. We have to start adapting towards this. How is life going to be different for nurses, for teachers, for business people, for accountants? I mean, all those different fields that we have majors in.
Mhm.
Everybody's got to try to figure this out. So that, I think, is the most exciting part for me. It's just working with my partners right now, and trying to figure out what are we going to really tell these people. They don't know, and we don't know either. We don't. Nobody really knows the answer to this question. How are you going to use AI to improve your learning? And what we have, your teaching and learning, and what we have is a formula that says we're going to create something unique for every situation. So we're building up to that right now. We're looking at AI in all these different contexts and trying to find not the magic bullet solution for everybody, but the way in which we're going to interact with the teachers, the department, the program, whatever we're talking to, the whole school in some cases, and
Mhm.
find out what they need, where they are right now, what their goals are, and then make the best recommendation for them. And no, don't bring them into it by saying top down, here's what you got to do, but give them experiences in our consulting presentations that bring them along. Let's bring them saying, oh, now I get it. Oh, this could do that. Oh, we can save ourselves time with this. Oh, we can do better assessments here. We can do better learning and teaching by using this. So we want to bring them along on that. It's not at all going to be a top-down consulting company that says we've got the answer, get out of the way. We're here. We're the experts. We are experts. I mean, all these people that I partners are really experts in this field. It's so new. A year makes you an expert. But we want to get them to see things themselves as well.
Mm. And along with that, can you tell me about some of the key benefits that you see that AI really brings to academia, both for teachers, instructors, and students?
I think there's things we don't even know about yet that are definitely going to happen. As with a lot of technologies, the unknowns, the unknown unknowns that we don't know about are coming up as well, along with the knowns, which are certainly going to be in the areas of efficiency, personalization, things that get students more engaged, better retention for schools, better passing rate for the really tough classes, those gatekeeper classes that they have. Let's get those kids past biology 101 and calculus and chemistry 101. They want to do it. They're taking it because they want to be in that field. Let's get them past it. It may be a matter of learning style, and it may be my minor of how fast they can go in learning the material. There's a lot of obstacles there that young people want to overcome. They're not there to fail, but teaching everybody the same way has been a pattern for a lot of schools, and making a gatekeeper. So 10%,
Mm.
15% sometimes pass those classes. Those are some of the things I think that will do the most. Some of the tough areas are certainly going to be composition, English composition, reading and writing. Those teachers and professors who've been doing the same thing for a long time, in some ways they're very satisfied with it. They enjoy it. they're in that English professor because they want to do it. Reading papers is not a huge chore to them. They like that part, but maybe getting students more engaged in it, doing things they really want to do, and not being bogged down by punctuation, footnotes, even spelling and grammar. I mean, okay, we all accept that we all want people to learn spelling and grammar, but do you really want to make it an obstacle to expressing yourself, uh, or getting your ideas down on paper when you have a really creative idea and you want to really give that student negative? No, they don't really want to do that. So, getting using that is going to be innovative. I'm sure they're going to want to do some things like in that area as well. And
Right.
history and other humanities, where the history professors say, why would I ever use AI? I know what I'm doing. I give a lecture. I show them marvelous, slides and pictures and original documents, and then I give them my insights, and then they tell me what my insights were right back to me. It's wonderful. Let's give them more interactive experience where the students are doing the discovery. I mean, some of the great pieces I've seen already are where students are interviewing figures from history and literature. I mean, AI can do the really good, simulation of that, and students love that kind of thing. And these young people are used to talking to machines. It's not foreign to them. It's not weird to them to feel like, oh, I'm really talking to something that has some ideas behind it. They'll
Mhm.
love that.
Right. Yeah, sounds very interesting. Lots of new, exciting things coming. You mentioned a little bit about forming a consulting agency. Can you tell us more about how that formulated, what it's called, and what all is involved with it?
Yeah, we designed it. We named it the AI Education Consultant Collective. Because two different things about the model that we're building are really important. One is that it's not there's no center; it's all over the place, right? Everybody's in their own location and decentralized. They're in their own location. Each consultant's going to have their own region. They use their own connections. Their reputation in that area is going to be their first calling card for finding clients. Going to be, I've been here. I live here. I know these schools. I know these superintendents. I know these professors, and that's going to be part of their calling card. So that's one advantage that we'll have, is that people are everywhere, and we're connected by the internet. Obviously, we can have a decentralized business. It's not impossible these days. The other advantage that we'll have for that is that when somebody does get a client, even if it's in a field, say it's a nursing department, say it's a humanities or art department, even, and they say, it's not really my area of expertise, but we'd like to do the job. You show me what you need. I'll get back to you with our proposal. And they go to the rest of our consultants and say, I need some ideas for art, for humanities. Let's get some things concrete. And we'll have somebody who's done that, who knows something about that field, who's experienced, maybe a professor from that field who's now doing this. So we'll combine our resources, our mental resources and our online resources to find the best solutions, help people find, bring them along to understand what the best solutions might be, and have them buy into it that way. But two great parts of that model are decentralization and a community of resources for everybody.
Nice. Okay, so that kind of ties into my next question, where I was talking about the challenges that you face, but I guess that kind of addresses it, in that you have subject matter experts within your organization that can
Yeah.
address whatever program, whatever issue comes up. Yeah, that sounds great. So you use those subject matter experts then to tailor an AI solution for the specific unique needs of that educational institution, the program. And are we talking about just higher education, or what all do you cover?
No, we want to cover everything. We want to cover K through 12, probably
Right.
mostly middle school and high school. Nobody's really talking about using AI a lot for little kids. We want little kids, kindergarten through fifth, sixth, seventh grade, to interact with each other, to have a great teacher and community experience in the classroom. Nobody wants to change that too much. Some people probably do. And but then community college, where a lot of vocational education is going on, a lot of remedial teaching is going on. Now, that's going to be a really important area. And AI can really address that area well. We have remedial, what do we call it now? Developmental English and reading and writing and mathematics. Something went wrong at some point. We have to admit it. Okay, they didn't get it in high school. They were deflected from it. The teachers were too busy. I mean, there's a lot of their home life, a lot of things. But now that they're in community college, they want to learn that stuff. They need to get that to move up. personalized education, personalized learning tutor is really going to do a lot for them. I mean, we know that tutoring makes a big difference. Khan Academy proved that a long time ago, but face-to-face tutoring is important. But having a personal AI tutor, that's going to work wonders for a lot of people in that position as well. So community college, and then in higher ed, as I said, different from entire divisions, entire groups of faculty and staff, even administration people to work on policy, privacy, ethics, and costs. They want to have some background in that, and costs are an important part of that. You can't just say you should do this and this and this without considering the cost. It's a big part of all of these institution levels are going to be costs are an important part, and then individual departments within those, targeting the departments where we have expertise from nursing, communication to education, the education departments. I can't wait to see education professors all in a room and help them figure out how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And we've got to both use AI to do better, and we've got to teach our students about how they're going to be using AI in the
Right.
future. Because their first interview is going to be with a school that says, okay, you're the youngest person here. How are you going to help us use AI? And they can't say, I didn't learn that in college.
Right.
And then a really important area of vocational and technical learning that's going on all over the country right now, from heating and air conditioning to diesel mechanics to jet
Yeah.
engines. I mean, everything that's going on. Those students are really important. Carpentry, masonry, and they all do some amount of book learning where they're sent home, some homework, or they're in a classroom with some troubleshooting guides or checklists or manuals where they've really got to learn that. And we have to recognize, I know these schools have recognized that's a tough sell for a lot of these young people. They're in those fields where they want hands on because they didn't excel at the reading and writing and sitting still in the classroom part. So helping them learn those materials they have to learn. We don't want jet engine mechanics missing something.
Right.
Helping them learn again in a personalized style, give them personalized assessment is going to make a big difference. And that's the one product we're actually working on now. A lot of people have talked to me about this and said, you have a service company, that's really easy for somebody else to duplicate. I said, well, maybe, but we have great people. Well, that doesn't matter. There's great people everywhere you can duplicate. So, well, we're going to be a product as well, but not right now. Who knows what the great products are yet in AI and education? Is it an app for the phone? Is it a web-based app? Is it an interactive game? What's the best way to help use AI to help people learn and help teachers teach? We don't know yet, but I think through our experience with a lot of this consulting, we're going to gain knowledge about what would be great. But we're already working on one web app, which is going to be for vocational technical learning, where instructors can upload to a closed LLM materials for their students in whatever it is, heating, air conditioning, masonry, whatever, and the students can learn that material in their own style and take an assessment in their own style. Learning styles are really, really important. And, schools have not been able to address that very well because we don't have the personalization. So all those different levels.
Mm. Yeah. So in talking about sort of the preferences that different students have and all the different varieties of things that are available dealing with AI, what trends do you see that might be emerging with the intersection of AI and education within, let's say, just the next year or two?
Well, I think already we're getting past this fear of cheating. That was the initial thing that happened everywhere. Shut it down as students are going to use it to cheat. Okay, let's get over that. We're almost over that. Where schools have said, okay, let's try to integrate it. Let's engage with it. Let's find ways to use all that capability to take the student a step further. Right? If they don't have to write 3 paragraphs or a 6 paragraph essay, the AI can write it for them. All right, let's let them use that. Learn editing, learn critical thinking, rearranging. Do something else with it. We've gotten to the point of acceptance, I think, but still fear of what do we do next, right? One professor I talked to already said, uh, you know, the AI teaches everything I do. What am I supposed to do now? And they understood collaboration, communication, critical thinking,
Right.
classroom, project-based learning. Get the students engaged. That's your favorite part anyway. Your favorite part isn't standing at the board or lecturing. Your favorite part is sitting down with a group that's working on a problem and listening to each other. And that's what you really can teach in a school. And that's where I would say we're going to go. Distant future is going to be, 10 years. There's going to be learning, a lot of factual material, a lot of concepts, a lot of ideas. Is going to be uh, the AI's job to teach the student. We're going to keep track of it. We're going to assess it. All those things will be happening. But then the school building is really going to be a place of action, of people doing things, of people working together, not sitting in rows of classrooms watching and listening. But the school buildings are going to be changed, and every room is going to be where something happens. I really like to saying that.
Mm. Yeah.
And when you ask teachers really what they want, what do you want your students? What's your real goal? And ask them to write this paper, or asking them to uh, uh, do the footnotes, or do research, or do this lab assignment. And the real goal they have is I want them to become. I want students to become something, become what they want, become the person, become the scientist,
Right.
become. And you don't become by sitting in a classroom listening and watching somebody. You do that, you become by doing. And when you ask that teacher,
Mhm.
well, what should they do to become that person? Get excited about it, get their hands on something, talk to people, create something new,
Right.
collaborate with somebody, and have an aha moment with a group of people. Say, we just figured out something we've never done before. That's what teachers really want. So I think that the goal is, or the near future is going to be a great time to be a teacher. Once you get past the fear and all the learning that has to be done and unlearning that you'll have to do as well, it's going to be, we're always going to be interacting instead of policing, instead of testing, instead of lecturing.
Nice. I love that future. So that sounds great. Uh, Final question. What advice would you have for any instructors, any faculty, as well as any administration that's watching right now along the lines of AI integration? And then how can they get a hold of you to possibly use your services?
Well, I think that's what you said, and I hate to be so self-serving, but what you said is, you need an outsider. When you have a school, you have an administration, you have a group of faculty, there's already somebody in there who's a early adopter, and everybody else has been skeptical of that early adopter for years, right? They say, "Oh, that person's always new to that stuff. It's always saying it's going to deliver all this, and it never does," right? So there's all those tensions and all these relationships are already there, and I think it is the point. And the point of the outsider is nobody in that school or in that organization or in that department has possibly spent as much time really working with AI, really thinking about it, or playing with it, or talking to other people, or learning about it from people like you and other great thought leaders on the web. As we have, nobody else has done that in that department. So you really need an outsider. Again, not for a top-down consultancy is going to tell you this is what you should do and goodbye, but working together to find the best solutions for what you do. So I think that's probably what's most administrations and schools and superintendents and department chairs are going to think about. Eventually, if they're not already, they're going to think about, we really need somebody outside, and keep the cost low and keep it in person and keep it friendly and make it interactive, and it'll be successful. So I think that's probably the key for a lot of these things to for that those changes to take place. Younger faculty are going to come in. Younger faculty and teachers are hopefully going to come in and say, "I've already got ideas about this. I can share them with everybody. We'll be ready." Again, you know that older faculty are always skeptical of the new person, saying, "We've done it this way for years." So I think that's going to be likely. On the web, they can find us at aiecc.org. Look at my name. I'm there, Jeff Ritter. I'm always connected to these things. But AIECC, Artificial Intelligence Education Consultant Collective, we're on the web, and we're getting lots of hits these days, and lots of people taking a look from all over the world too. And that's another thing. If we don't have a consultant in your area, like if you're in, middle of Indiana or somewhere in Iowa, and you look at our site and you go, "Wow, that's a great service. I wonder if they have somebody here." Well, we may not, but if you want our service, and you go to our assessment, you fill out our assessment form, tell us about your organization, tell us what you want, what your experience is, and what you need. We'll find someone. There's people like us, like me and you, Brent, all over the world who are really engaged with AI, and they're not necessarily going to be out there looking for jobs. But a lot of people are, but we'll find someone who could do it for you face to face. And if they're not particularly ready for it, but interested, we'll train them.
Mm.
We'll train them and be ready to do it. One of our partners, Quentin, excellent trainer. He's been training the trainer in a lot of fields for a while, so that's part of what we'll do.
Excellent. So it's also international. You do things internationally.
Yeah, we have some Indian partners, we have some South African, and we're hoping to be more places around the world. There's a huge
Excellent.
interest globally
Yeah.
in AI for education. I'm not sure what's going to happen so quickly in Europe, or in Asia, but I know that in lots of parts of Africa, lots of parts of South America, there's a big interest, especially in places where they still really use the European method of teaching in a lot of schools, lecture and test, and that's the main thing they did. They really want to leapfrog over
Yeah.
the development that we did of getting a classroom interactive to using AI and being interactive with that because it'll make it happen faster and lower the cost. It'll be cheaper to do it.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you. Those were all the questions I had. I think this was very enlightening. I appreciate this. And again, this goes along with what I'm trying to preach to everyone as well, in that it's an imperative, it's a need that all schools must engage in. It's no longer an aspect of thinking about it, contemplating. It's a matter of we have to implement now. Students need this right now in order to be
Yeah,
competitive. Everyone needs this right now in order to properly interact with technology and properly get information from the web. So this is a real
yeah.
necessity, and I appreciate everything that you're
You
doing.
know, it's a little bit of an unusual circumstance. Usually, technology, and everybody knows Everett Rogers and the curve of diffusion of innovation, and it usually takes a few years. I mean, it's
Right.
normal. Email, we didn't start away everybody with that. At websites, it took a while. Even PowerPoint took a while, but this is unusual in that business is taking it up so quickly that that's where layoffs are coming, or that's where consolidation is
Yeah.
coming from, and profits are going up in a lot of those cases. But business is taking up so fast that education has to be right there at the
Yeah.
same time, not behind, but at the same time.
Yeah. We can't afford the luxury of just taking more time and spending years researching. Research has to
Yeah,
keep on going for sure, but we have to and implement and help our students right now. Great
yeah,
point.
and all the questioning and critical thinking goes along with that. We definitely have to do it. I'm not ignoring any of that, but uh, adoption is the first thing you have to start thinking about soon.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Brent. Good to
Wish
talk
you
to
well.
you.
Yeah. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
I hope you enjoyed that interview, and I hope that it opened your eyes a little bit to the power that can come from an outside consultant that would be able to come in and assist your educational institution in the development of AI integration into education. Very important, something that really needs to happen, and I hope that all educational institutions think about this, especially now that we're in the summer months. This would be a prime opportunity to start to develop this, to start to integrate more AI and develop the overall institution so that it can better serve the students as well as help the instructors as well. Thank you, everyone. And remember, learning is for life. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you joining me with this interview. Please like and share as well as subscribe so that together we can develop a better educational institution for everyone.